Welcome everybody, a new generation of fans about to be introduced to the Unity Cup after a 21-year hiatus. An event that goes beyond sport returns to the calendar here in West London. Brentford's GTEC Community Stadium plays host to all 4 games between now and finals day on Saturday in this Best of the West event. Nigeria and Ghana meet tomorrow in an all-West African affair, but it's the West Indies that takes centre stage in this first semi-final, an all-Caribbean contest between Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago. Regular rivals over many years. In fact, they faced each other twice already this year in February friendlies in Montego Bay and Kingston, but this is the first time that they have ever met on UK soil. The Soca Warriors against the Reggae Boys. Dwight York against Steve McLaren in a game that also doubles as important preparation for next week's World Cup qualifiers and this summer's CONCACAF Gold Cup. Both Caribbean nations have reached the World Cup finals once before. They are dreaming of doing so again next year, but it is the Unity Cup that brings them to West London and brings together 4 of London's vibrant diaspora communities to celebrate the competing nations and the cultural and sporting connections they share. Onto the big stage then come Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago. 2 nations well acquainted recently on the football field, celebrating the connections they share off it in West London today as well, in the opening fixture of the Unity Cup. Wonderful atmosphere here ahead of kick-off, a party off the pitch, and we're about to get the action underway on it after we've heard the national anthems.
Trinidad Tobago, first up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior.
So the West Indies come to West London. It's over 30 degrees Celsius in Kingston, Jamaica right now. It's not in Kingston upon Thames or here in neighbouring Hounslow, but the weather hasn't been able to unduly dampen the party atmosphere. Carnival feel created around this competition. Let's have a look at how they line up tonight then. Both managers have mixed up their squad somewhat for this competition. 8 of Steve McLaren's starting lineup play their club football in England. He's made 7 changes to the side that beat St Vincent and the Grenadines in March to qualify for the Gold Cup. There's a debut for Roman Burrell of Burton Albion after scoring 11 goals to keep the Brewers in League One. John Russell is recalled after 5 goals in Barnsley's last 5 games to earn his first cap since the 2023 Gold Cup. Mason Holgate's back for the first time since being sent off against the USA in the Nations League in November. But the game comes too soon after the end of the English Premier League season for Brentford's Ethan Pinnock to play at his home stadium. Leon Bailey of Aston Villa misses out as well. Well, only 3 of this Trinidad and Tobago team started their last international, the 4-0 Gold Cup qualifying win against Cuba. Kevin Molina, the most capped player in this side, who was a goal scorer in that game. Alvin Jones and Daniel Phillips are the only ones to keep their places. Phillips of Stevenage is one of just 2 English-based players in the 11, along with Crystal Palace teenager Rio Cardines, who makes a senior international debut after impressing with Palace's under-21s this season. There's also a first cap up front for Isaiah Leacock, who scored 16 goals in winning the Pro League title back home with the Defence Force club, where he's a teammate of Molino. To say they know each other well is something of an understatement. Steve McLaren and Dwight York in opposition, having worked together previously at Manchester United. McLaren has handed a start, an international debut to Roman Burrell, Birmingham born, but qualifying to play for Jamaica and doing so today for the very first time after 11 goals in England's 3rd tier in League One with the Brewers this season. Also a debut for an English-based player in Rio Cardines, the 19-year-old from Crystal Palace, who's been with the Eagles for the last 3 years or so. He scored twice in 20 appearances for their under-21s, but gets to step up to the senior international stage today. Both bosses taking the opportunity to try out new players ahead of World Cup qualifiers in just a week's time, and the Gold Cup in the summer, for which they have both named provisional 60-player squads. Plenty still to play for everyone involved. English officials tonight. Sam Barrett is the referee, a Premier League ref since last year, who back in December was promoted to FIFA's international list. He's going to be overseeing this first semi-final. Both sides, of course, in their traditional colours. The Reggae Boys in the yellow, green and black that will get the action underway. And we'll play from left to right in this first half. The stage is set. It is Trini-Jam time in the first of this week's semi-finals. Who will claim the Caribbean crown to represent the West Indies against the best of West Africa at the weekend? Jamaica unbeaten in the last 6 meetings with the nation that they have faced more than any other. All 6 of those games coming since March of 2023. They are familiar foes in unfamiliar surroundings tonight. And that a big part of the reason for staging this competition. So the communities supporting Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago, based in England's capital, can get to see their sides in the flesh here. And they have turned out in their numbers at the GTEC Community Stadium. So Jamaica looking to try and launch the first attack of the game. John Russell covering good ground and delivering dangerously. But it was well dealt with. He might get another go yet. Russell of Barnsley had a super end to his season in England's League One. Scored in his last 3 games 5 goals in his last 5 appearances. He scored on his last cap for Jamaica as well. It came at the Gold Cup in the summer of 2023. Twisting and turning is Daniel Phillips. Jelani Peters. Both bosses have opted for a mix of players based on these shores and a number of domestic players as well. Dwight York saying it's important for those players to get the opportunity to play at stadiums such as this, on occasions such as this. It will help elevate them, develop their careers. He's still very much in the early days of his reign. Now that was almost a little bit of a gift. Sigh of relief breathed by the goalkeeper Shekan Davis. Jamaica foray forward. And don't get too far on that far side. Ronaldo Cephas was a goal scorer in the last game, the 3-0 victory against St Vincent and the Grenadines. So put Jamaica's place at the Gold Cup this summer in the USA. Both of these nations will be contesting that competition. Raheem Dixon was the target. Plays with Charlton Athletic. He wasn't involved at Wembley at the weekend, as his club side were promoted to the English Championship. In fact, he featured just 3 times for them off the bench in the season just gone. Came on in the last minute of each leg in March in that aforementioned Gold Cup qualifier, but he gets his opportunity from the start. Jamaica's number 9 tonight. Mason Holgate to Richard King, and all the way back to Shekan Davis. He's the only goalkeeper of the 3 named in the squad who actually has a cap to his name, Davis, and he has only one of those before tonight. Now, regular keeper Andre Blake of the Philadelphia Union, unavailable through injury. The referee will step in here and award the free kick in Casey Palmer's favour. He was in full flight there. Phillips it was who stepped in to stop him after he got away from Noah Powder. Another free kick a little further up the field for Jamaica. One of the higher ranked of the 2 nations. Trinidad and Tobago currently 100 in the world, but expected to climb. Steve McLaren expects them to climb under Dwight York, whose appointment he praised as a really intelligent one. York himself has admitted that they currently are behind Jamaica, but they are intent on closing that gap. They are 37 places below them in the official FIFA World Rankings. So a promising position this then for the Reggae boys early on. Plenty of possibilities, all in a line on the edge of the penalty area. See what they can conjure up here. Trevor Sinclair, by the way, is the set-piece coach. A number of familiar names in the backroom team under Steve McLaren. So it's whipped in and dealt with initially. The presence of those that had ventured forward may still become relevant, but only after the throw. Didn't quite work as intended, that one. And Holgate spent the season on loan at West Bromwich Albion from Everton. He was sent off against the USA in that CONCACAF Nations League quarter-final back in November on his last cap. It'll be Amari Bell to take the throw. Back in his direction, he may well get another go. Well, Steve McLaren back in management in West London for the first time since he was sacked by Queen's Park Rangers back in 2019. Enjoying the challenge, almost a year into the job now. He was appointed last summer by Jamaica. I was going to say back in the dugout in West London, but he's opted for a seat a little further back in the stands early on. Bell then again will try with the throw. And he partially cleared as far as Dixon and deflected through to Marvin Phillip, who has his first touch of the ball on his return to the team, winning cap number 92 at the age of 40. Wasn't expected to start today, but Denzel Smith, who's been the regular recently, hasn't made the matchday squad. So Phillip stepping in. A player who made his debut for Trinidad and Tobago all the way back in 2007. Here's Peters. Afforded a little time on the ball at the back. The Soca Warriors. Andre Raymond operating down that left-hand side. He plays his football in Scotland. He's finished the season on loan from St Johnstone at Dunfermline Athletic. Now the captain Kevin Molino, top scorer in the side. Most capped outfield player with 64 including tonight. He's back playing back home actually in Defence Force after a lengthy career in Major League Soccer. Leacock getting a foot in on debut. Tossing for that one was Burrell, trying to make his presence felt. Noah Powder under pressure. He's back to Jamal Jack. And a vastly experienced defender for Trinidad and Tobago. His last 4 caps for them have all now come against Jamaica. At the age of 37, debuted some 13 years ago for the national team. The player they call the Rock at the back. The heart of that back three. It's been the familiar formation employed by Dwight York so far in his short time in charge. Got the job at the start of November. It's only a 6th international at the helm, including one of those behind closed doors in Riyadh against Saudi Arabia in December, which was outside of the international window. Space here for Jamaica. That's a lovely ball slip through for Burrell. Does have support from Dixon and he's put it wide. Clear side of goal for Kaheem Dixon, who scored on his debut against Trinidad and Tobago just over a year ago. He may well feel that he should have scored that one as well. Been played on, I think, by Jamal Jack was Burrell. And he cut it back for Dixon to strike it first time. Out wide it whistles. Clearest opening so far, just didn't quite have his angles right there, did he? And some promising early signs from Roman Burrell on debut, and fashioning that opportunity. There's Gilbert, looking it wider. Trinidad and Tobago with plenty in the penalty area, but was a bit too much on the ball in. Just unable to locate anybody in red. And Gilbert of PSV Eindhoven was the intended target there for Rio Cardines on debut. Cardines capable of playing on either side. He's been operating really as a wing-back for Crystal Palace's under-21s under Darren Powell this season. Getting his chance on the right. And he has spent most of the club season, even though perhaps his preference is for the other flank. Russell infield to Dixon. He still has it here. Kaheem Dixon goes down right on the edge of the penalty area. Only just outside, according to Sam Barrett, who is reaching for the yellow card to punish Noah Powder for the challenge on him. First caution of the contest. Just got himself in front, didn't he? Kaheem Dixon, and it was right on the edge of the area. There was the one trying to get back. He just clipped him. Jamani Peters, the defender really that Dixon had got in front of. So still plenty of possibilities here for Jamaica and for Casey Palmer, who will assume the set-piece responsibility. His first call-up of the calendar year. Although who operates, of course, in England's Championship with Hull City. And a bit of time to think about this one. Palmer was close. He was very close. The reaction will tell you that. Still looking for his first goal for his country. It's cap number 14 for Casey Palmer tonight. He certainly sensed his chance here. He was very nearly able to take it despite that considerable wall. Side netting only. Did have a bit of a gap to aim for. Here they come again, and it's another free kick, again right on the edge of the penalty area. Well, Jamaica are beginning to station themselves, and it's another yellow card. And they're trying to play their way out from the back. Trinidad and Tobago. Phillips had lost it initially. Put himself in the way. He gets the yellow card as a result. So Palmer to try again. Got a fair few to aim for, hasn't he? Casey Palmer here. Really good ball in, but it was emphatically dealt with. Kalani Peters back there. Could take no chances. Put himself in the right place, Peters, didn't he, to deal with that at the expense of the corner. Palmer being kept busy on set-piece duty. And it goes again from him here. And he's going to get yet another go. Richard King up from the back. Always a target in these sort of situations. Didn't quite catch it as intended, but there was another corner taken quickly. In by Dixon. Comfortably through to Marvin Phillip. It's kept in by Cardines over there. There's Gilbert. Wider is Andre Raymond. It's neatly done by Molino. Caldo touching it wider. The captain has it back, Kevin Molino, in towards Leacock. Again, it's nearly but not quite for Trinidad and Tobago. And Steve McLaren, as I mentioned, watching on from afar. Maybe he was in somebody else's seat. Didn't appear too happy about it, did he? He was all smiles at the pre-match press conference yesterday, was Steve McLaren. Taking Jamaica back to England to play an international here was something he said he dreamed of doing when he took the job last summer, and feels that the experience will benefit his players and his staff as well. And the added benefit, of course, of giving the Jamaican community in London the opportunity to see his side close up as well. Here's Dixon taking the touch. And it did open up for a sight of goal for John Russell, but he didn't quite catch it cleanly, and Phillips down to make the save. Certainly a player that they will want to see in those sort of positions, Russell, given the form that he's been in at the end of the season. A little goal-scoring run tucked his tally to 11 in League One for Barnsley. And so far in Jamaican colours. It was on his last cap at the last Gold Cup in the USA against St Kitts and Nevis. was called up last September without getting a game and hasn't featured since until this evening. McLaren without a number of familiar names because of the timing of the fixture. The English Premier League season only ending at the weekend. Joel Atabodier of Coventry City wasn't considered either because of his involvement in the Championship playoffs. They're all set to be involved in the World Cup qualifiers and the Gold Cup to come. 3 caps a little bit too much, said McLaren, which is why he made that decision. He called it actually a really difficult squad to pick because of everything that he had to take into account, trying to get the balance right. And some Holgate scampering after this. And Soca Warriors not pressing too high at the moment, so Jamaica can take their time in this part of the pitch. That's a really good ball. And a really decent attempt from Cephas as well that forces the save from Marvin Phillip. And smartly on his near post. A couple of occasions they've threatened to get in behind in these opening exchanges, Jamaica. Looking for Dixon. Done initially by Phillips, he skipped past a couple, not the third, and didn't get the free kick that he was hoping might follow. Instead it's Kaheem Dixon for Jamaica. They've not quite been able to pick their way through in those sort of situations so far. They have put themselves in those sort of situations fairly frequently early on. Cardines has covered good ground. They'll have a go at the end of it. It was an awkward one for Davis. He answered at the second attempt. Shakan Davis on his second cap. Marvin Jones carried it effectively. He was the one that had the effort in the end. Molino. Now 34, Kevin Molino. 16 league goals he scored for Defence Force. They've just taken the title for the second year running. In the TNT Pro League. Much of his career, as I mentioned, in MLS. He was an MLS Cup winner with the Columbus Crew. He had 6 seasons with Orlando City as well. Here he is, back on the ball. Regular goal scorer for his country, 24 in his 63 previous caps. Slightly deeper role these days. Wins the free kick here. Jelani Peters, it's his first call-up since the 2021 Gold Cup. And a 5th cap in total. Another of the Defence Force contingent. There are 3 of them in the starting lineup from the domestic champions. The Jamaican domestic season, by the way, only finished on Friday. So it's been a tight turnaround for those involved in the playoff final in Kingston. Won by the Cavalier Club. Richard King, the centre-back, was celebrating. Scored in a penalty shootout success. There's Raymond. It's a good run from him. Out as far as Phillips. Deflects it. Makes it well wide of the target in the end, just as it seemed it was going to sit up invitingly for Daniel Phillips. Got it there to Isaac Hayden, who closed him down quickly. Corner to come though for Trinidad and Tobago. Both they and Jamaica well positioned in the second round of CONCACAF World Cup qualifying at the moment. Both dreaming of a second ever appearance at the World Cup finals next year. So Cardines is going to take it. I was hoping he might get another go there, but not so. Ante Gilbert's just been released actually by PSV, plays for their under-21 side in the second tier of Dutch football in the Eredivisie, as he has for the last couple of years, but he's one of those out of contract this summer and set to move on, we understand. So a big opportunity for him to showcase his skills tonight. He didn't know an awful lot about that one though. Isaac Hayden finished the season on loan at Portsmouth from Newcastle. He made his Jamaican debut in November. Had gone out of play, referee indicating the throw. Alvin Jones, one of two brothers in the squad. His elder brother Jovin is on the bench today. He's also here with them. Midway point of the first half. And remember, there has to be a winner tonight. If it's level after 90 minutes, it will go straight to a penalty shootout to decide who plays in the final and who contests the third place playoff back here on Saturday. Nigeria and Ghana contest the other semi-final tomorrow night. There's Phillips. Phillips dispossessed here by Russell. Cephas in support. Fast feet from him, and the referee is going to say penalty this time. Jamal Jack has conceded the penalty. Referee buried in, no doubt. Ronaldo Cephas was in full flight. He's caused some early issues cutting in from that wide position. Let's have another look at it. He's left a little isolated, Jack, here. Left the leg in, clearly inside the area. And the referee had a decent enough view, I think, of it from there. There's the penalty. And the opportunity for the Reggae Boys to strike first in West London. The Trinidad and Tobago supporters, who are stationed behind Marvin Phillips' goal, trying to play their part in making this more difficult for Casey Palmer. He's the one that is going to step up and take it, and scores coolly with a Panenka penalty from Palmer to score his first goal in Jamaican colours. Player who learnt his trade not far from here with Chelsea has scored for Jamaica from the spot in really cool, confident fashion. Takes a bit of nerve to do that, but I guess this is the sort of occasion where it may well be fitting. And he will certainly remember his first international goal. First goal for anybody actually since he scored for Hull City at Stoke City back in September. He did make his debut for Jamaica back in 2021 under Theodore Whitmore. He didn't win a second cap for a further 2.5 years. One-time England under-21 international. He played every minute of all three of their games at the Copa America that they contested last summer with Casey Palmer. His first call-up of 2025 sees him score from the spot. Trinidad and Tobago will have to try and find their response now. And they have been served notice to a certain extent in those sort of situations, conceding a couple of free kicks right on the edge of the penalty area. But this time, when Cephas was brought down, Palmer stepped up. It's the first goal of this year's Unity Cup. And here comes Jamaica in search of more, maybe. Cephas again, it's threaded into his path. And it was a dangerous ball across goal that Burrell couldn't quite reach. He put himself in a useful spot to try and do so, Romain Burrell. Soca Warriors struggling to deal with Cephas at the moment, though. He's the one causing plenty of the problems. Picked out by Palmer this time. Just a fraction too far in front of Burrell. Plays in Turkey with Ankara Gücü as Cephas these days. A couple of seasons playing for them. And it's advantage McLaren over Dwight York so far. Both involved, of course, in that famous treble for Manchester United in 1999, York's first season at the club. McLaren arrived as an assistant coach halfway through it. And when Dwight York made the decision that he wanted to move into management, McLaren was one of those that he consulted with in real depth. A big help to him, he says. And now they're going up against each other for a third time already. These nations having met in 2 February friendlies. And there will be a yellow card for the goal scorer here. Tracy Palmer is the one that has conceded the free kick. And it's cost him a caution. And looking at that, I think the contact came from Mason Holgate. It will be his card. Which is the third of the game already. He is the first Jamaican player to have his name taken. Marvin Jones standing over this. Shockley Davis in goal of Mount Pleasant. He was on the beaten team in that Premier League playoff final on Friday. Was not called into action on that occasion, though. Horribly high and wide from Alvin Jones. Never threatening to add to the 6 international goals that he has scored from the back. A player that is capable of operating in a number of different positions. He's played in midfield for a chunk of his 57 previous caps. Dwight York not impressed with that one. See Neil Wood alongside him there as well. Familiar figure in the English game. Former Salford City manager, a long-time academy coach at Manchester United, whom York worked alongside whilst he was taking his coaching badges. One of the first things he did when he got the job with Trinidad and Tobago was to add Wood to his coaching staff as well. There's Raymond. Molino. A little bit of space here for Gilbert. Neatly into his path from Raymond. And good defending. Holgate came careering across to make sure he got himself in the way. He got to that first. Gilbert taking up some dangerous positions for Trinidad and Tobago. It's a lovely ball from Andre Raymond. Directly into his path, but he wasn't afforded really the chance to take that touch because of the presence there of Holgate. By Peters. Palmer there to pick up the pieces. Here's Dixon. Gilbert keeps it in. And then to present possession back to Kaheem Dixon. Next, Lembakisa is the right back who's going to take the throw. Spent the season with Barnsley on loan from Wolverhampton Wanderers. He actually debuted for Jamaica as a 19-year-old against Trinidad and Tobago 2 and a bit years ago. It's the 8th time that they've met since March of 2023. And Jamaica, as it stands, are on course to make it 7 unbeaten in this fixture. Andre Raymond never quite had it under his spell. regardless of the outcome on the field. Both sets of supporters determined to enjoy the occasion tonight, determined to seize the chance to see their side in action. This competition back on the calendar for the first time in 21 years, only the third time that it has ever been staged. Jamaica have been ever present in it. 2002 and 2004, the first couple of iterations of the Unity Cup. Also staged in London, at Loftus Road and the Valley, respectively. Brentford's impressive GTEC Community Stadium will be the venue for all four fixtures this year, over the course of the next week. Molino gets it back again from Phillips. Trying to find Leacock through the middle. Palmer comes away with that. And again he had Cephas on the move. He's gone the other way this time. For him, Dixon's struggling to reach it. Valiant attempt to do so. Notable that he switched to the right-hand side, and it's Burrell through the middle. He's the opposite way around at the start. And they're equally capable of swapping again, I think, those two. Raymond waiting to take the throw. Also on Molino as they tussle forward on the touchline. Really yet seen the response from Trinidad and Tobago. Seems falling behind from the penalty spot. It might change here. Gardens to have a go. Nearly opened up for him. Jamaica just about got back to him. And he's looking a threat, isn't he, on debut, Rio Cardines? Still only 19, rising through the ranks at Crystal Palace. Yet to make a senior first-team debut for them. He's made his senior international debut before he has it at club level. And he fancied his chances maybe of getting a debut goal here. Of real promise. Made his under-20 international debut in February of last year. Headed back here to Davis. He's quickly put under pressure. And Bakisa. Lovely little turn that from Dixon. Dixon's delivery. Important touch before it came for Cephas. It is now Casey Palmer in possession, and he's picked the pass for Dixon to drive it goalwards. Philip gets down to make the stop. Went back by Lembakisa. And this time the goalkeeper is able to grab it and keep out Casey Palmer. He picks up a really promising position as he looks for his and his side's second goal of the game. Played his part initially, did Palmer. It was a decent stop from Marvin Phillip. He's been the busier of the two goalkeepers. But he wasn't overly extended by what happened at the end of it this time, despite the space that Palmer had found in the penalty area. And Bakisa back doing the day job here, guiding it back to Shakan Davis. Well, if it does go to penalties today, he's had some practice as Davis, because he came on right at the end of extra time in that Premier League playoff final on Friday, especially for the shootout, but couldn't prevent his Mount Pleasant side losing it against Cavalier. Richard King, the centre-back in front of him today, put one of the penalties past him as Cavalier took their fourth Jamaican title. It's going to come through for Burrell. The assistant is flagging though. Everybody else had stopped before Romain Burrell put that in the back of the net. Never going to count though. Looking for a debut goal, Romain Barral. Might open up here. Barral again, played in, big save by Philip. Cephas. And still, and he couldn't quite take it out from under his feet to get his shot away. Chances coming quickly for Jamaica to try and extend their lead before the interval. They are looking a real threat just at the moment. Palmer looking to pick his way through again. Dixon is heavily involved. Plenty back in red. And that looked fairly cynical from Richard King. And it is going to cost him a caution, and no surprise in that. Locked off Kevin Molino. Thought that he had to do something there because there was plenty of space in behind them. He was a title winner at the weekend, playing in the 6th consecutive international, Jamaica's number 6. And pretty animated in the last few minutes. Steve McLaren watching on. 10 games he's had in charge so far before today, since getting the job at the end of July. Just the 2 defeats, 4 victories so far. And what is his first job in management since he was dismissed in West London with Queen's Park Rangers in the Championship in 2019. And that spell, of course, is Eric ten Hag's assistant back at Manchester United. He was technical director at Derby County as well in between. Here's Gilbert. Molino. Trinidad and Tobago just slowing it down a little bit. Jelani Peters to Jamal Jack. Cut out by Palmer. Here's Hayden. Casey Palmer dispossessed by Phillips, who did well. Potentially turning defence into attack for the Soca Warriors. Gilbert. Kevin Molino. Gilbert's continued his run. Does have support here. And there's the chance. Wide it goes from Molino. Possibly the one that they would have wanted on the end of it. There's the skipper. And he will feel that he should have done more with it here. Heading towards the final 5 of the first half. What a difference this would have made. Not the easiest of skills to take it on first time. To Jones's ball in, cleared the head of Hayden, fell favourably for Molino. Well, that sums up the spirit, maybe, doesn't it, of this competition. Mbakisa. Fans mingling in the stands, and players embracing the occasion on the pitch as well as a real opportunity to showcase their skills. The Unity Cup, a competition that goes beyond sport, really. Not the primary reason why it has been brought back for this year. They've been trying to do it at the organisers for a little while. It was initially planned pre-COVID to get it back on the calendar. It hasn't been possible until this year, when the stars have aligned. Raymond. Molino again helping it on for Gilbert. It's neatly done from Dante Gilbert. Knocked into space for Cardines. He just slipped at the crucial moment, really, when up against Amari Bell. Amari Bell of Luton Town, who was relegated from the Championship, relegated for the 2nd successive season. He was a Premier League player just over a year ago, but he will be a Luton Town player no longer at the end of his contract this summer. One of those that the club have announced will be leaving at the end of his deal. So he's another looking to put himself potentially in the shop window tonight. And indeed over the course of the international summer with Jamaica. King goes back to Davis. There's Hayden. Mason Holgate. Moribel involved again in finding Cephas here tight to the touchline. This time the decision has gone against him. Although Cephas pulled back by the referee's whistle. It was Davis, wasn't it, over there? They switched flanks, those two. He's giving Alvin Jones some trouble here. Another tactical tweak by Steve McLaren. Switching the wide players. He's seen something else that's called for his attention. His team need to remain switched on at the back as well, and maybe he's just getting a little concerned at the changing balance of play as this heads towards half-time. Trinidad and Tobago starting to find more of a threat, maybe, the longer the first half has gone on. Neatly done by Russell here. That was a lovely turn. The options either side. As a result, Davis was calling for it. He was looking for Burrell instead. Palmer. And again for Casey Palmer. And Davis. And nearly for Russell. Well defended by Daniel Phillips under pressure. Did what he could with that. And there goes Gilbert. Bakisa going all the way with Dante Gilbert, just halting his progress. Steve McLaren now right there on the edge of his technical area. It's all unfolding just in front of him. It appears that he will have a bit to say to his side at the break. They've been the dominant force for long spells of this first half, certainly the early stages of it, but since the goal went in, they've not been able to extend their advantage, and it's starting to look a more slender looking lead at the moment. Last minute of the first 45 here, with the Soca Warriors advancing once more. And Burrell was the solitary target for that one, and it was misplaced. The other side hanging around at the restarts though here. It's been a really good tempo to this opening semi-final. Noah Powder taking the touch. Plays in the third tier of US football in League One of the USL with Westchester. Their first ever senior international, Noah Powder. He's lost 2 caps, have both been starts in this fixture. Played in the friendly in February as well, as we go into just a solitary minute of additional time at the end of the first half. That may be their best chance, hasn't he, Kevin Molino, in this first period, to try and get Trinidad and Tobago back on terms. Does look like, though, that Casey Palmer's goal will separate them at the interval. Palmer from the penalty spot. We'll see changes, I'm sure, from both sides in the second half. Mixing up the minutes a little bit, giving plenty of players opportunities. And that is that for the first half here. And Jamaica with the slender lead. Jamal Jack with the challenge on Ronaldo Cephas that led to the award of the penalty, and up to convert it stepped Casey Palmer just past the midway point of the first half. Panenka penalty from Palmer to put them in front to score his first international goal for Jamaica, and it's the goal that separates them at the interval here. But the Trinidad and Tobago supporters will still harbour hope as well as the teams head for the tunnel. They've created enough since falling behind to suggest that this is far from finished. But at the break at the GTEC Community Stadium in Brentford, it is Jamaica 1, Trinidad and Tobago 0.
Over time, sportsmen and women from the African continent and African descent have bestowed the global stage with their tremendous sporting abilities and produced some iconic performances.
These legends from different spheres of sporting endeavour have graced the theatres of sports drama with their skill and athleticism, but now inspiring generations with their heroic feats and phenomenal prowess on the field of play.
Their stories need to be told. Indeed, their stories must be told to highlight the import and impact of Black and African athletes' outstanding sporting heritage.
Afrosport now will celebrate African sporting achievements by telling these stories of superlative performances and inspiring moments that transcended generations from the past to the present.
It is time to honor heroes of Black and African sport.
No data, no problem. Play your game anywhere with the special codes.
Betting made easy for MTN users only. Bet responsibly, not for persons under the age of 18. Bet Naija, more than a bet.
This my boss season. Eyes the clock in the clock of the lotto. Couldn't just come out on top when I wanted to. Eyes to sit in the heat like a pyros. Produce a beat and made a couple knots. They taking a shortcut, I'm taking shots. Can't go put on no slot. I'm trying to pull off a miracle. DJ scratch it for me. He could have been scratching a cereal.
Afrosport, your freedom of sport.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Do you know the special code for Bet Naija on your phone? That's what's up, it's a special code. No data, no problem. Play your game anywhere with the special code. That's 2077 data show.
Betting made easy for MTN users only. Bet responsibly, not for persons under the age of 18. Bet Naija, more than a bet.
Because you are behind a fake exterior, inferior. You know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up Make yourself unstoppable, dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable. Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but I'm not looking up to take it. Chasing a dream that I've had for several ages of vacant. Modern kingdom for the taking.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this,
For too long, the world has viewed us through other people's lenses.
But now, it's Africa's time to tell our own success stories in sport to the rest of the world, the way only we can.
Afrosport. It's time to celebrate Black excellence in sports non-stop.
I don't ever slow up.
It is time.
It is time.
It is time.
For too long, the world has viewed us through other people's lenses.
But now, it's Africa's time to tell our own success stories in sports to the rest of the world, the way only we can.
Afrosport. It's time to celebrate Black excellence in sports non-stop.
It is time.
It is time.
It is time.
Sport has the power to change the world. It has the power to inspire. It has the power to unite people. It speaks to youth in a language they understand. It laughs in the face of all types of discrimination. Sport can create hope where once there was only despair. Sport has the power to change the world. It has the power to inspire. It has the power to unite people. It speaks to youth in a language they understand. It laughs in the face of all types of discrimination. Sport can create hope where once there was only despair. Sport has the power to change the world. It has the power to inspire. It has the power to unite people. It speaks to youth in a language they understand. It laughs in the face of all types of discrimination. Sport can create hope where once there was only despair. Sport has the power to change the world. Sport has the power to change the world. It has the power to inspire. It has the power to unite people. It speaks to youth in a language they understand. It laughs in the face of all types of discrimination. Sport can create hope where once there was only despair. Sport has the power to change the world. It has the power to inspire. It has the power to unite people. It speaks to youth in a language they understand. It laughs in the face of all types of discrimination. Sport can create hope where once there was only despair.
It is time.
It is time.
It is time.
For too long, the world has viewed us through other people's.
The sides back out then for the start of the second half. This first semi-final at the Unity Cup. Just the one goal so far between Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago. Scored with that penalty by Casey Palmer, just past the midway point of the first half. It's all that separates them so far. Trinidad and Tobago have had openings in pursuit of parity. We'll certainly believe that they are capable of getting back in this game. It's all Caribbean contest. The best of the West Indies battling for the right to play the best of West Africa in Saturday's final. Nigeria against Ghana to come in the second semi tomorrow, but plenty still to come in the second half here. But the Soca Warriors are about to get off and underway. So it is Trinidad and Tobago to get this second half started. Can they get themselves back in this semi-final? We'll certainly sense their opportunity. That penalty, the difference at this juncture. Important preparation for both as well, ahead of those World Cup qualifiers to come. Amari Bell under pressure here, has lost out against Cardines, and it required Davis to come and deny him. It was a big opening for Rio Cardines. That's twice he's come close to a debut goal, the Crystal Palace player. Didn't look an awful lot of danger here, but Amari Bell just dwelt on it a little bit. Cardines did get to it first. Bell grateful to his goalkeeper. And now Burrell at the other end for Jamaica, as they take their turn to attack for the first time in this second half. Done by Phillips initially, and he was just able to take the sting out of the pass to ensure that it reaches Gilbert. He was a threat in that first period. There's Dante Gilbert. Phillips seeing plenty of it in the middle part of the pitch. Played the full 90 in both of their qualifying games against Cuba for the Gold Cup in March. One of the English-born players in Enfield, Daniel Phillips of Trinidad and Tobago. Fitting maybe on an occasion like this that it was the London-born Casey Palmer that's got the goal in the Unity Cup. The only goal so far. Having represented England and scored for England at under-21 level. Palmer born in Lewisham, a goal scorer in West London today for Jamaica, his first for Jamaica. Here's Gilbert. There's that rangy run and a useful attempt at the finish as well, trying to bend it back. Nearly but not quite for Dante Gilbert. Looking for his second international goal for Trinidad and Tobago. He scored on his last start, a 3-1 home win against Cuba in the CONCACAF Nations League back in October of last year. Scored on his last appearance for Young PSV as well in the second tier of Dutch football against Utrecht in May, the start of this month. As mentioned, it is likely to be his last appearance for them out of contract in the summer. Amari Bell. Here's Cephas, the player who won the penalty. It was a real handful in that first half. Brought down beautifully by Davis. And Akisa's cross, only partially cleared. That was an opportunity. And still the danger maybe with Amari Bell. Here's Cephas. Nothing at the end of it for Jamaica this time. But there was a chance for Kaheem Dixon. Had a big one of his own earlier in the game. Bakisa's cross was problematic. It was cut out and cleared only as far as Kaheem Dixon, but there was a big block in there to deny him. Took it on first time with power. Winning a 13th cap tonight, Kaheem Dixon. He's still only 20. Very much on the fringes with Charlton Athletic this season. I'm surprised to see so many of the English-based players starting for Jamaica, particularly given how their domestic season only finished on Friday. Steve McClaren talking about the jet lag involved that some of his players are really experiencing for the first time. And it hammers home, he says, to those domestic-based players, the commitment of those playing in Europe to make that journey frequently during the club season to represent Jamaica. A reversal for this friendly. Davis clears it away. Trinidad and Tobago currently still a player short here. Only now will the referee step in. So a little break in play while some treatment can be administered to Isaiah Leacock, who's struggled really to get into the game on debut. Had an excellent domestic season, scoring those 16 league goals in winning the title with Defence Force. Nobody anywhere near him really when he went down there on the edge of the penalty area. Just lost his footing. He's one of those hoping to impress Dwight York up top. The last time that Trinidad and Tobago played in London was back in 2006. Friendly win against Iceland by 2-0, and Dwight York scored both of the goals in that game, including from the penalty spot. And the opportunity came to manage his national team. He says it was one that he simply could not turn down. He had been attempting to break into management in England, actually. But a chance to do so with Trinidad and Tobago, one that his family felt he simply had to take. And he certainly believes that progress has already been made in the relatively short time that he's been in situ since getting the job in November. Still getting to know his players. Still yet to settle, he says, on a certain system, but it is in the DNA of the team to try and play entertaining, attacking football, and we've seen plenty of that on show so far at the G-Tech tonight from both of these sides. Here's Cephas. He takes some stopping in those situations, as we've seen already. Something going against him this time. It's an opportunity, say Steve McClaren, for individuals to prove that they can get into the squad for the World Cup qualifiers or the Gold Cup to come. They're still ahead here, and they're going in pursuit of more. Then Bakisa, forward from fullback. He's able to stand up the cross, didn't quite reach Casey Palmer. Touch in there for Bell, now Cephas. Back towards Palmer, and again, and he does get his shot away, and there's the improvised finish to make it 2. And it's a debut goal for Roman Barral. And a goal to remember in every sense. 2-0 Jamaica. And Barral of Burton Albion scores for Jamaica on his first appearance in the national shirt. And he scores in some style. Two English-born players on target for Steve McClaren's Jamaica in England in the Unity Cup. Trinidad and Tobago will be frustrated that they didn't deal with the danger. They had a couple of opportunities to get it clear. Palmer was denied by Marvin Phillip, but Barral certainly wasn't. Watched it carefully and finds the spectacular finish. Palmer, who scored the first from the spot, playing his part in that one as well. And what a moment for Roman Barral. First ever international call-up for a player who came through the youth ranks at Grimsby Town. He's had spells with Middlesbrough, on loan at Bradford City in Kilmarnock. He played for Falkirk in Scotland as well. And now a goal scorer at international level as Trinidad and Tobago try and respond straight away, and they do! How about that? Straight back in it And it's a debut goal of his own for Isaiah Leacock. A rapid response from the Soca Warriors. Just what he wanted to see in the circumstances. And what a week it has been for Isaiah Leacock. League title winner last week, courtesy of his 16 goals for Defence Force. It's earned him a chance with the national team, and he's taken his chance here all right. Jamaica were maybe still celebrating their second, hadn't quite switched back on again, and they've been made to pay. Molino, who picked him out, Leacock able to take one touch to set himself, and then finds the finish. Two debut goals at either end in a matter of moments. And Jamaica's lead is swiftly trimmed back to one. Wonderful entertainment which continues here. Jamaica take their turn. Well through the middle. Here's Palmer, slips it through again. Lovely ball, opens up again. And, well, that's a crucial challenge from Jelani Peters. Shuts the door just in time on John Russell. The game really has opened up yet further in this second half. So Palmer to take responsibility from the corner. Not quite as troubling as it might have been. So where does this game go from here? Trinidad and Tobago swiftly restoring hope with the goal that they scored through Leacock. Won't be long, I don't think, before we see changes. Rapidly heading towards the hour mark already. There'll be plenty hoping to get involved later. Cardine's trying to get on the end of this. He's been heavily involved on debut. And Maury Bell stopped him this time. Palmer picking up the pieces. Cephas. Strong surge, but Alvin Jones went with him. He didn't have a lot of margin for error in making the challenge. Did what he had to do here, Alvin Jones. It's a real key duel between those two, really, in the overall context of the contest. Palmer just taking his time, everybody just taking a little bit of a breather, maybe. So in by Casey Palmer, and goalwards by Burrell. And they'll get another go on the other side. Final touch there was a Trinidad and Tobago touch. Always just missing that far post. So Rose with a combination of Jack and Peters. But he's central to the story, isn't he, on debut, Burrell? They might just have a new hero. It's only a year ago that Lamont Burrell was playing for Cove Rangers in League One in Scotland. Oh, an international goal scorer. Palmer's corner. Played away more decisively in the end this time by those in red. Limbakisa came under pressure. Trip of over 7,000 kilometres for these two nations across the Atlantic. And they are rewarding their communities here in England's capital. Leacock, neatly done, and it will come for Cardines here. Bell went with him, and he had to. Getting heavily involved in attack, isn't he, Rio Cardines? Did well to reach that first, but Amari Bell stuck to his task. Comes out here for Noah Powder. Never troubling the target with that one. Couple of goals in his country's colours so far for Noah Powder. Dwight York, of course, knows a thing or two about scoring for Trinidad and Tobago. He remains in their top 10 scorers of all time. 19 goals he got for them. He often actually played much deeper in midfield, certainly towards the end of his international career. It spans 72 caps. Born on the island of Tobago in Canaan. He was previously the assistant manager of the national team. Left at the end of the 2010 World Cup qualifying campaign in that position, and that's a heavy touch from Shakan Davis, just about gets away with it. Trinidad and Tobago not hanging around here. Alvin Jones with the cross. Comes back in his direction. And he's been kept pretty busy just at the moment. Cardines in space again. A little period of possession in and around the Jamaican territory for the Soca Warriors. Some big games coming up in World Cup qualifying against St Kitts and Nevis at home and Costa Rica away to conclude the second round of CONCACAF qualifying. They're currently in second place behind Costa Rica after the first couple of games. They're still behind here, but they're intent on changing that. Filled up by Davis, though. His goal really has given them renewed hope. Dwight York, of course, played for Trinidad and Tobago the only time they reached the World Cup in 2006. Played against England, for whom Steve McLaren was an assistant coach, under Sven-Göran Eriksson at the time. It's fair to say they have plenty of history, those two. We are going to see some changes shortly. I think there's activity down on the touchline at the moment. Just a bit too much on that for Gilbert. Couple of changes being readied by Dwight York. Rion Moore is going to come on, and Christian Lee him as well. Part of a double change by the boss to freshen things up at this juncture. No surprise in that at this stage. Burrell did well. There's Russell. Burrell continued his run. Russell's threaded it into his path. He has Cephas in the middle. And again! And he couldn't make the most of it. Nearly, but not quite. And he had other options as well in there, did Ronaldo Cephas in the end, which Kaheem Dixon is pointing out. Look at the space that he was in here initially. Caught in two minds whether to play the pass with back to goal, and certainly Kaheem Dixon, I think, made it clear that that would have been his preferred option from there. Went for the back heel instead. It got another go. Did Cephas. Nearly, but not quite. prominent part that he's played. McLaren is readying changes of his own. He's also going to bring on, by the way, Ravel Morrison shortly, who was only called up yesterday, only joined up with the rest of the squad yesterday, having initially been omitted by McLaren. Phillips did well. Kyle Ming is going to be the other player coming on shortly for Jamaica, by the way. Both teams are readying a double change. And it looks like Daniel Green, who's down there, who's going to come on for McLaren's men shortly. Molino. Peters. Wilder was Gilbert. Still beautifully balanced, isn't it? Molino. He'll get it back from Daniel Phillips here. Kevin Molino, no way through. It's a painful-looking collision as well. Isaac Hayden looks like he's come off the worst. He's the one that stayed down. Molino now getting back to his feet again. But Hayden flat on the floor. Came across to try and get to that first, did Isaac Hayden. It's come at some personal cost, so whilst he receives some treatment, they will take the chance to make the changes. And the goal scorer coming off for Trinidad and Tobago, Isaiah Leacock. Scorer on his first cap is going to be replaced here. And Daniel Phillips making way as well. So Rion Moore is into the action, and so too Christian Lee Him. For his first call-up since November of 2023. He will take the place of Phillips in midfield. And Moore will go up top. First call-up since September of last year. Jamaica just holding off on their changes. They'll try and defend this free kick first before summoning their substitutes. There's the confirmation of the Trinidad and Tobago changes. Sardines may well fancy this. He is something of a set-piece specialist. We've seen that already on his international debut. And it's made a big impression thus far. A lot of organising for Davis to do in goal. He's been the regular backup goalkeeper on the bench over the course of the last year or so before winning his second cap tonight. Will he be required here? Rio Cardin stands over it for Trinidad and Tobago with an inviting sight of goal. So they try and get themselves back on terms from two behind. He's had a lot of time to think about it. Here he comes then, Cardines. Brilliant effort, so unlucky but in. And Trinidad and Tobago are back on terms. Kevin Molino following up to score. 2-2. The skipper scores for the Soca Warriors. He was the one in the right place to profit after that brilliant free kick from Rio Cardins. Davis's luck out in goal. And from two behind, TNT back on terms. Hit the post, bounced off the goalkeeper, and then in from Molino for goal number 25 of his distinguished international career. It's an excellently struck free kick. It took the wall out of the equation despite the positioning of it. When it hit the goalkeeper, it could have gone anywhere, really. It could have gone in, but instead it fell favourably for Molino. So all square. And Jamaica have made those changes in the immediate aftermath of the goal. Daniel Green and Ravel Morrison are on, but they are into a very different situation now. Set about trying to re-establish their lead. Here goes Green, his first involvement. There's another of the Mount Pleasant players that suffered that penalty disappointment in the domestic Premier League playoff final at the weekend. Started a 1-1 draw against Trinidad and Tobago in February on his last cap. He's on for his 7th appearance in his country's colours. Casey Palmer has made way for Ravel Morrison, and that's quite some story. Morrison's return, having initially been excluded by Steve McLaren, who said he couldn't pick him because he couldn't watch him. Morrison currently plays in the 3rd tier in the United Arab Emirates, and not even available to watch on video, said McLaren. But he had a bit of a change of heart yesterday when Morrison was summoned to the squad, and is winning his first cap for over 2 years tonight. Two goal scorers making way for Jamaica in those changes, and now they need to find another one to re-establish their advantage. Alvin Jones is down. That was the challenge on him by the substitute Daniel Green. Quite up to speed, it's cost him a caution. Going to be okay to continue is Alvin Jones here. Well, he's retreated from the touchline again, as Steve McLaren. The side were in charge, but no more. It's crucial, I think, wasn't it, that Trinidad and Tobago got one back as quickly as they did, having gone 2 behind, because it has provided them with this platform to push on to parity. And who knows how this is going to end up. As I say, if it is level after 90 minutes, we go to a penalty shootout. The last meeting between them did end all square, 1-1 in Kingston in February. Extending Jamaica's unbeaten run to 6 matches in this fixture. Fixture that has been contested 72 times previously between these rival islands. Now Cephas opens up for Jamaica. Goalkeeper can't hold it. Morrison trying to follow up. Just unable to force it in. Almost an instant impact from the returning Ravel Morrison, and relief for Marvin Phillip, who made the initial save but seen it run loose again. That had already proved costly once in this second half. Down to make the stop from Cephas. Credit as well Alvin Jones, who got across to make it more difficult for Morrison than it might have been. But Jamaica so close to re-establishing their advantage. He's a player, Morrison, that Steve McLaren has worked with previously at Derby County, knows what he can do, the quality that he has. But he didn't know whether he was in the sort of condition to be able to make a a difference in international football at the moment, given the level that he's playing at in Dubai. The 14th different club of his career that began, of course, so promisingly at Manchester United. Jones looking for options, floats it forward. A little too far in front of Christian Lee Him. He's back in the national setup for the first time since November 2023. His 7th cap. Swedish-based player is Christian Lee Him of the Syrianska club. As Dwight York said, there are so many players he's still really getting to know and wants to have a look at. He comes into that category clearly. Neville Morrison, who was without a club for a good while after leaving DC United. He followed Wayne Rooney there from Derby County. Never quite really been able to find a home at club level. Isaac Hayden to Mason Holgate. Closing quarter of an hour now of the 90. 2 games ahead for Jamaica as well. They've won their opening 2 World Cup qualifiers in the second round in Group E. They certainly want to win this one. They thought they'd put themselves in a position to do so. Now they're having to do it all over again. Mason Holgate's effort there deflects behind for the corner. It's only a 4th cap for their number 4. We're going to see a triple change very shortly from Trinidad and Tobago. They will wait until after this corner, which is taken quickly and short. Morrison taking one up for Isaac Hayden. Block was by Jack. Another corner to come on the other side. Richard King forward from centre-back. It's played short into his feet. Plenty to aim for in the middle. No free kick given on the edge of the area. They're not too much really by way of a Jamaican process either. There's some Holgate up from the back. So the changes will happen here for Trinidad and Tobago. Jovin Jones is going to come on. He's the most experienced in the squad. Kevin Molino making way, having got his goal, played his part. Squared it up at 2-2. Jovin Jones really can play anywhere. 2-time MLS Cup winner with the Seattle Sounders back in the days. But playing in Trinidad and Tobago with the Police FC club. The 6th all-time in their list of appearance makers now. Also on is Justin Garcia, with Dante Gilbert making way. Justin Garcia is a defensive player. And the final change sees John Paul Rochford introduced as well. Cap number 15 for him. He also started against Jamaica in February. Peter's the other player making way. So Garcia will replace him at the back. Rochford, who's capable of the spectacular, will take the place of Gilbert. And Jones for Molino. So the 2 brothers on the pitch at the same time, Jovin and Alvin, as they often are for the Soca Warriors. Greg Lee of Oxford United is going to be summoned shortly by Steve McLaren. Once of Oxford United himself, of course. Another change is imminent. Just receiving his instructions there. The left back scored 6 goals actually in the Championship season for Oxford, including against Swansea on the final day of the season earlier this month. He had missed Jamaica's last 4 internationals, but is back today. Morrison. Just going to skip away from Limbakisa, but it was an excellent ball, wasn't it, in his direction. Wilson trying to bring that quality to midfield. Limbakisa had made the run for him. I think the change is going to happen here. It will be a 24th cap for Greg Lee tonight. Whether of the English-based contingent coming on. Might mean a little bit of a reshuffle because it's Kaheem Dixon over on the far side of the field there that has been replaced. He is capable of playing further forward, but you would suspect a reshuffle as a result of that change. Coming up to 5 years since his debut for the national team for Greg Lee. He did play at the Copa America for them last year. First cap day since November. Daniel Green was able to reach it. Limbakisa was looking for Holgate, who was a little fortunate that it did end up dropping in his direction, and then he was dispossessed unfairly. So a free kick and a yellow card as well for the challenge on him. Rion Moore found himself the wrong side there in a bit of a tangle, did Moore, so he's gone into the book as well. The Trinidad and Tobago substitute. So Dixon's part is played. Full reception he got from the fans as he made his way around the perimeter of the pitch. Jamaica tried to keep the pressure on here. Referee has stepped in though, because Jamal Jack is down with suspicion of the head injury. Just taken one centre-back off, and now they have an issue over another. Do have Sheldon Batto on the bench, by the way. He's been recalled for the first time this year. I hope that it's a change that they don't have to make, but he will have to pass all the protocols to be able to continue, will Jack. A decent game back there. And that is still very much in the balance, that could be heading to the penalty shootout potentially. This is how he was hurt. Lee's ball in. Challenge came in on Jamal Jack by Mason Holgate. Both only had eyes for the ball. And good to see him pretty swiftly back on his feet again. Applause as well from the Jamaican fans in the spirit of the Unity Cup. They really have served up a spectacle, these two sides, in the opening fixture of the competition. Tickets first went on sale back in April. There have been plenty packing the G-Tech, as they will tomorrow and certainly on Saturday, when all four nations are in action in that double-header. Third place playoff followed by the final, and we're still no nearer knowing which of these Caribbean nations will be representing the region in that final. There's Morrison. It's a clever ball, volleyed forward first time in the direction of Cephas. He's now playing more centrally. He's been for much of the second half. He's maybe had the best chance to put them back in front after the 2-goal lead was lost. Russell. Wide for Green. Back with John Russell. Mason Holgate. Marvin Jones, just enough on that for Marvin Phillip. He almost sold the goalkeeper a little short, but Phillip reacted well. That's an excellent ball. And it opens up here for Trinidad and Tobago, maybe to go in front for the first time. Big save from Davis. Still the chance for Cardines and wide. Close but not close enough for Trinidad and Tobago, who almost turned this around in its entirety. That's the ball that did the damage, really. John-Paul Rochford with the initial shot that brought the save. And then Cardines over the top. Well, close on more than one occasion, Cardines. Rochford deserves real credit. He made the run. It was a brilliant ball that picked him out. He called Shekan Davis into action. Lee forward up the other end here towards Amari Bell. Furthest forward we've seen him. What a frantic final 5 of the 90 we could yet still have in store here. Well, it's exactly the sort of competitive contest that they would have hoped it would be. This will certainly aid their preparations for the competitive commitments to come over the course of the summer. It's Greg Lee that played it forward here, and Alvin Jones just stretching himself and then hurt a little bit maybe on landing as well. In it goes from the throw. Hasn't been dealt with yet. Lee's in there, big stop! Wonderful save from Marvin Phillip to keep Trinidad and Tobago on terms. He met it well, did Greg Lee. He hasn't been on long. Might have thought he was going to be cast in the role of match winner there, and would have been perhaps, but for the flying frame of Phillip. The 40-year-old goalkeeper with his reactions as razor sharp as ever. Goalkeeper has been to 5 different Gold Cups with Trinidad and Tobago. He debuted for them back in 2007 when he won the first of now 92 caps. They're based back home in Port of Spain these days. Wasn't necessarily expecting to start. He's not been the regular recently. Denzel Smith had played 7 of the previous 10. Andre Raymond only now is getting back to his feet again after that little stoppage. This is going to extend the drama yet further beyond the 90-minute mark as well, before we even get potentially to penalties. But what a save from Marvin Phillip. Some domestic titles as a cricketer as well, back in the day. Wonderful reactions from him. But more work potentially to do from the corner. Ravel Morrison waiting to take it for Jamaica. So it goes from Morrison into a threatening area. Cleared out as far as Daniel Green here. And that pass wasn't as precise as it needed to be, and it could spell trouble actually. Here comes the counter maybe. Just couldn't quite keep his feet. Initially Jovin Jones, and well, the chance that was looming had gone. And still maybe make something of it. There will be a free kick to follow. Rochford it was that slotted it through to Jovin Jones. Hayden that got back to him. Cap number 95 for Jones tonight. Marlins Cup winner with Seattle in 2016 and 2019. Won this free kick, he's the one that is going to take it. And you could certainly see what he was trying with it. But Jamal Jack up from the back, just unable to get the touch required. Didn't miss the top of his head by much, did it? Well, neither side settling for a shootout. They both think that they can go on and win this maybe in the last of the 90 minutes. Rion Moore. There's Powder. Jovin Jones. Back to his brother Alvin Jones. Oh, it was late. Jovin Jones nowhere near the ball. The yellow card is out straight away for the player that has taken over the armband after replacing Kevin Molino. And he's gone into the book as well here. Mason Holgate was clearly in front of him, and well, the referee was right there as well. He almost took Sam Barrett out with that as well. Indisputable caution. 10 times on the touchline as we head into what will be 5 additional minutes. 5 minutes for either side to find a winner before the possible penalty shootout. Maybe the probable penalty shootout. Sifas brings that down. He stayed down. Lembakisa. Bounced up and hit him on the arm there, didn't it? Next to Lembakisa, right in front of the assistant referee. And they've been richly entertained. Still the outcome in the balance. First game in London for Jamaica since the summer of 2014, over a decade ago, since they drew with Egypt at Brisbane Road. That one finished 2-2. There has to be a winner tonight. Well, is that going to fall? Making the way of Moore. Seeing one up for Jovin Jones. Jamaica have got that quickly. Rochford. And then the attempt is just too high. But he applauds the intention. John Paul Rochford has made a difference since Dwight York brought him on from the bench. Only one thought on his mind, really, looking to locate that far top corner as he cut in on the right foot. Charging forward, slipping it through, Sifas reaching it just ahead of the goalkeeper, and penalty given. He was a fraction late, Marvin Phillip there, and Ronaldo Sifas has won his second penalty of the game, which might ensure that a penalty shootout is not required after all. Real drama right at the end, midway through stoppage time. He did brilliantly to get on the end of it, to get there first. Well, he'd slipped it through to him. Got in front of Justin Garcia. Marvin Phillip had to come. There was no margin for error as he flung himself at the feet of Ronaldo Sifas. And referee Barrett has pointed to the penalty spot for the second time in the game. Well, Phillip was beaten by a Panenka from Casey Palmer in the first half. Palmer long since substituted, so it's going to fall instead to Richard King, I think, here to maybe win the game. Who scored in the penalty shootout for Cavalier on Friday to win the Premier League title in the playoff final domestically. What he has never done yet is score for Jamaica. It's cap number 23 for the centre-back tonight. He's the one that has the responsibility on his shoulders, up against Marvin Phillip. Powerful penalty, King finds the top corner, and Jamaica surely have won it after all. Richard King from the spot. The Reggae Boys, the Kings of the Caribbean tonight. Although in the midst of all those celebrations, they will remember that they conceded almost from kick-off when they scored earlier in this second half. But they are almost there. Richard King kept his composure. A wonderful week from the penalty spot it has been for him. A league title just 4 days ago, and now a first international goal. And Marvin Phillip, who conceded it, just couldn't quite keep it out. Two really contrasting penalties we've seen from Jamaica today. The Panenka in the first half, and then the power. The laces through it, into the postage stamp. And Jamaica lead again. And they will have what remains of stoppage time to hold on this time, to prove that lessons have been learned from last time. Can Dwight York's team do it again? Trinidad and Tobago will throw everybody forward for these final flurries. Because of that, they could be caught out by Cephas again at the other end. He's had quite some game. His priority, though, having reached it, will be to hold on to it this time. Andre Raymond snapping at his heels to try and prevent that. Morrison helping out for Jamaica. A place in the final on Saturday is moments away for the Reggae Boys. Their recent dominance in this fixture against their Caribbean rival set to continue. It's a game really that could have gone either way. A game that has encapsulated everything that this Unity Cup was designed to be about. They'll just try and hold it up here for as long as they can, and Jamaica have done it. Relief for the Reggae Boys at the end as they settle it from the spot in stoppage time. Steve McLaren gets the better of Dwight York. Trinidad and Tobago, who battled back from two behind to get themselves level, left heartbroken at the conclusion when Richard King stepped up from the spot. His penalty ensuring that a penalty shootout wasn't required. Marvin Phillip conceded it and then was beaten from the spot for the second time in this semi-final. Casey Palmer had put the Reggae Boys in front in the first half. When the lead was doubled by debutant Roman Burrell, they looked well set for victory. But what spirit showed by Dwight York's team in response. They were straight back in the game when they got one back. They were back on terms when Merlino made it 2-2. And that is the way it stayed until stoppage time. No wonder Steve McLaren is all smiles. His return to management in West London has a happy ending tonight, and a final to come at the weekend against Nigeria or Ghana, who will do battle tomorrow for the right to meet the Jamaicans in the final.
Sport has the power to change the world. It has the power to inspire. It has the power to unite people. It speaks to youth in a language they understand. It laughs in the face of all types of discrimination. Sport can create hope where once there was only despair.
What also matters most is the entertainment that both of these island nations have served up for their supporters today, who've taken the chance to watch them in person in England's capital. They really have put on a show. The party in full swing for Jamaica. Both will be back for more at the weekend as part of Saturday's double-header here. But it will be Jamaica that will play for the Cup in the final. Trinidad and Tobago, who certainly played their part in the entertainment offered up at the GTEC this evening. And there are plenty of positives that they will take from that performance. Signs of further progress in the early months of Dwight Yorke's reign. A national hero who's taken over the national team with the intention of rising up the rankings and potentially qualifying them for only a second ever World Cup. That is in the sights of both of these countries next year. They've got a Gold Cup to come this summer in the US as well. They'll both be part of that particular party, and they will both take confidence into the World Cup qualifiers that they have to play in just a week's time or so before then. Real respect between the two bosses who know each other so well, and that has been reflected in the spirit in which the game was played, but such a competitive nature as well in this first semi-final. You could see how much it meant. A friendly really in name only, although it has been friendly in the stands, with the supporters mingling and enjoying and embracing the occasion, summing up the spirit of the Unity Cup. It is about more than just the football, but the football has been excellent. Some well-crafted goals, some spectacular finishes, two really well-taken contrasting penalties, plenty for Steve McLaren to pick over, without of course many of his best players who are to be added back into the equation. The likes of Ethan Pinnacle have been disappointed not to feature in front of his own fans at Brentford, I'm sure, tonight. Leon Bailey to come back in as well. Casey Palmer stepped up from the spot with that Panenka penalty that set the tone to a certain extent. He said when he got the job it was his dream to play an international back in his home nation, and Steve McLaren got the ending to it that he would have dreamt about as well. His return to international management. He joked yesterday he hoped it would end much better than his time in charge of England did. He's really enjoying this new role. But equally, Trinidad and Tobago's players have embraced the challenge of impressing a legend in Dwight Yorke. We've seen the evidence of that in their displays so far. And they will have another game to come against either Nigeria or Ghana as well in that third place playoff as this Afro-Caribbean party continues, with a second semi tomorrow and that double-header here at the weekend when this place will be packed again. Real carnival atmosphere created, reflected by the display that we've seen on the field as well. Hope you've enjoyed it with us. Been quite some game, hasn't it? It is Jamaica through to the final. The third place playoff beckons for Trinidad and Tobago. More to come tomorrow from the GTEC Community Stadium. But full time here in the first of the semi-finals at the Unity Cup. It's victory for Jamaica. They left it late, but it's finished. Jamaica 3, Trinidad and Tobago 2.
Sport has the power to change the world. It has the power to inspire. It has the power to unite people. It speaks to youth in a language they understand. It laughs in the face of all types of discrimination. Sport can create hope where once there was only despair.
It is time.
It is time.
It is time.
For too long, the world has viewed us through other people's lenses.